Wow. I hit the button. Usually I had to wait 5 to 10 seconds and it says you're live, but it said it in about 2 seconds. We're live. Yeah, I know. I'll explain this in a moment. If I remember. All right, let's do things somewhat normally. Where do we put this? That's a good place to put that. Let's just say I've been watching a lot of Asian martial arts movies, and I happened to run across that thing. Stop it. And, goodness gracious. I love Master Po in Kill Bill with his long beard. He does that, so that thing kind of struck me. Hey, well, it is Monday, and that is our normal day to get together for ADRAMADA. You have found ADRAMADA, another Dave Rush Ask Me Anything. Digital Alchemy. Come for the shirt. Stay for the news and projects and whatever. I am your host, Dave Rush, and you are the proud ADRAMADA Armada. I got a lot of material. I didn't think I would. I didn't do... I dribbled and drabbled through the week to do prep, but I didn't do real project prep for today, until today. So, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a speedy thing, but, you know, I dive deeper and deeper, and, oh, let's do this and let's do that. So we'll see how she all goes. It is Monday. It's February 2nd of 2026. If you are not watching this live, if you are watching this live, you already know the date. That's weird. I'm looking at the viewer count on YouTube. None of you are here. There we go. Kaboom. It suddenly said, oh, wait a minute. You're all here. Sorry. I'm having a good day. Man, I am having a good day. I won't beleaguer this, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do more workout than I do on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And on those odd days, I usually do 250 sit-ups. And I did my 250 this morning. And I said, you know, I am feeling it. I'm just going to throw another 50 at it. And so I did. And I'm hoping that I'm feeling it on Wednesday and Thursday and kick up the week to maybe another 50 for each of those days. And that takes me to 1,200 on the week. We'll see how she goes. There has been a nationwide cold snap for the last couple of weeks, and it is beginning to fade on Sunday night. That was kind of the last of our below freezing weather. I watched all my neighbors take the covers off of their plants in the last day or so. I have 40 gallons of water for if the pipes freeze or whatever that we fill up and keep in the house for crisis. I saw the weather report yesterday and today. The polar vortex that's controlling all this nonsense doesn't look like it's going to move for another week or two and could bring another one. So I've had water in those jugs for, no, not 1 gallon jugs. They're big 7 gallon jugs, something like that. But I'm going to empty them and let them dry out for a day or two, get some bleach in there, and then refresh them before the weekend comes up. And keep water ready. I always have the generators ready and all that good stuff. All right, that's done. Hey, apropos of nothing, this is just kind of a neat little trivia. If you didn't know this, you don't have to be a fan of AC/DC, but everybody in the world knows who they are. If you go t-shirt shopping, the 2 most popular t-shirt bands anywhere you hunt for this stuff is Kiss and AC/DC. And if you should run across videos of AC/DC in their heyday, you'll see their lead singer, who's actually the 3rd lead singer of the band, Brian Johnson, English singer and songwriter, you will see him wearing not a Greek fisherman's cap, but a chauffeur's cap. And it's just neat trivia if you didn't know this. Why? Because he was the band's chauffeur before he became their lead vocalist. Just thought that was neat. Hey, let's see who's here, what you're up to, and then we'll see news of the week, or news in history. So, as ever and always, only half an hour. Telewood turns up about a half an hour before showtime. Nothing major that I've seen in the news going on in Paradise, so glad to hear that. I know you were very busy yesterday, as were we all, at least in the morning. Yeah, it was Sunday. If you're tuning in a little later in this, up on the top of the feed just before the show started, there's communication links if you want to check out some of our resources, or for some insane reason want to communicate with me. Come live. Communicate with us, all of us, on the chat. But if you can't do that, there's contact information there. 4 minutes before showtime, Patricia says, are the Fediverse socialists still full of folks hating on X and Elon, or are there informative, amusing things now? You know, I don't know how many millions of users X has, but pick your poison. Anybody who's got an opinion about anything is going to post there and on TikTok and on Instagram and on and on. And you know the algorithm on X, right? It pays attention to what you spend time on or what you click on to see in greater detail or whatever. And that stuff gets categorized and it says, oh, this is what that person likes to watch. And they add more of that to your feed than other things. My wife loves cute cats, cute cat videos, and I find them. I'm surfing through it. There's a cute cat video, market for the missus, and that gets me hugs and kisses from the missus. I like pranks. I like pranks that don't hurt anybody. I hate pranks on the weak and the young and things like that. But good pranks are good pranks, and if you're not getting hurt and you're not abusing anyone. And so I get a lot of those on my feed. Yeah, I get a lot of politics too. I'm fairly political outside of these realms and a little bit inside of those. Normal day for now. Volunteer from our center is in Oahu now for a couple of weeks. All right, back to biz. So, I was looking at my usual sites for today in history. I didn't go back very far. I didn't find anything interesting far enough back to get worthwhile. So the oldest of our on this date is 1922, when James Joyce's novel Ulysses first published in Paris. He published 1,000 copies. 1924, Norway. The first Winter Olympics, the first modern Winter Olympics, where I'm not going to try to pronounce, Thorleif Haug took the cross-country double at Chamonix, the Winter Olympics, and wins the 18K event. He also is a 50K gold medalist. Okay, I do. 1959, on this date, February 2nd, was Buddy Holly's last performance in Clear Lake, Iowa. Wake up, little Susie. I thought I would normally have not included this in the feed, but because of yesterday, I had to do it. If you didn't watch or see the news about Barbra Streisand at the Grammys, and I'm just going to say poor Barbra Streisand, okay? No politics on this. Some people, you know, they should not necessarily be dragged out, even though their names are significant and important and their contributions are. But anyways, 1974, Barbra Streisand first #1 hit, The Way We Were. And that's it for the news, or for the on this date. Before we meet again, a week from today, the Super Bowl will be a one-day-old memory. I hope your team wins. I have no dog in this fight. So eat up or Hey, ADRAMADA has a Discord home. Everybody that's here live knows about it and is a member of it and is probably a mod on it. I think everybody here is a mod. But if you're not part of it, come join us. It's a rollicking good time. It's non-technical, it's technical, it's all across the board, a huge scope of interest and great folks and good conversation. Come on over. The link is posted just about 5 minutes before the show started. Cinco Mexican, Mastodon, slide. No, it's not a slide. So where we been and where are we going? 2 weeks ago is the last time we had a show, and we talked about the CARS kit, the Computer Assembly and Repair Simulator kit, which we are making available to anybody. Underserved schools and environments will get it at super cheap or free, and everybody else gets to pay full price so that we can pay to make more of these and get them to the underserved. So it's kind of a charitable. We don't have charitable paperwork yet. We are working on that. But if you want to just help out and you want to learn how to assemble computers, how to repair hardware PCs without the possibility of damaging them, you want to look at our CARS kit. Get in contact with me and watch the show 2 weeks ago to find out why they are indestructible and yet real and realistic. It's really cool. Last week we didn't have a show because we were deep in the throes of the ice field, and I was helping folks who had no power or heat, and we were very successful at that. It wasn't just me, a lot of folks, of course, involved in that. Today, we're going to talk about tools to develop projects on Raspberry Pis when you don't have a Raspberry Pi. Maybe they're all committed right now and you want to dev, but leave their commitments. Maybe you're going to get one later. Maybe. So, cool stuff. I want to talk about, just for a couple seconds, indispensable tools and thrift finds. So that cool little old master wig, thrift find. There's a store near us where the proprietress buys Amazon bins for 5 cents on the dollar and sells everything in there for $1 or $5 or $8 or whatever. Some of the stuff is a little pricier, but nowhere near the price that Amazon sells it. And so I picked up 4 things there this past weekend. One was my wig. That was $1. Behind me, the new backdrop. I don't know if I'm going to keep that, but it was $1. I couldn't say no. It's 7 feet wide. It's 5 feet tall. It's just perfect for the backdrop of this set. So I'm loving that thing. For $1, I got this. This is nothing special. And then again, yes, it is. This is a USB-C hub. Because everything is USB-C now. Mac laptops and current real laptops are coming only with USB-C connectors on them. And I need those things quite regularly for my side hustle. I don't know if it's a side hustle anymore. I think it's becoming my real job. This was in the $8 bin. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let's see how that comes out on camera. Yeah, okay. Comes up. Yeah, it went that way. This is a pair of wireless HDMI connectors. So while you are limited on wired HDMI connectors or an HDMI cable, this will get you out to about 100 feet from your HDMI source to your HDMI monitor or projector or whatever. And again, a tool that I use regularly is projectors and remote monitors and things like that. And then I just want to mention this. I am growing my collection of tools, of devices that have, pop out of there, you, dual USB ports. So regular old USB 2 and 3 and USB-C connectors. Again, because I transfer back and forth between Apple's PCs with USB-C and PCs with USB traditional A's and B's. So I've got all kinds of goodies now. This is a slide advancer. Basically, it's a wireless keyboard that has 6 or 7 keyboard functions on it, including right arrow and left arrow and a couple of other goodies. I've got flash drives with both connectors and a few other goodies. Those are indispensable tools in my world and possibly in yours. So I just want to let you know they exist. And they charge stupid amounts for them. All right, let's see what you were talking about, and then we'll start the show for real. Ooh. Wait, okay, volunteer from our centers in Oahu. Oh, okay, they're meeting with their daughter and grandkids who live in Korea. I'm just going to assume everybody said Hawaii is kind of a nice central point to meet up there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Please let us know how we can spread the word. So everybody knows teachers. And everybody knows somebody who volunteers in underserved communities or knows people that you're already doing that. And you know people who are doing that. Just talk with them. That's it. That's it. If you want to go, nuts and find charitable organizations and things like that in the areas that you're in, cool bananas. But I think probably in this beginning, word of mouth is a great way to go. Wireless HDMI connectors, how much are they? Well, I don't know how much they cost for real. I did test it. Quality is absolutely fine. This one, see if we can get a manufacturer's name on this. It's dark in here. Laptop, flashlight. Good for 30 meters, 98 feet. No, I don't want camera. I want flashlight. Transmission distance up to HDMI wireless extender. Best I can do is show you the case again and look up HDMI wireless extender and see if you can find a similar package. I just sold. I didn't realize. I probably should have kept it, but I've had it on eBay for ages before I was doing this side hustle. And then, surprise, somebody bought it. It was an HDMI extender that uses, it's cabled, uses Cat 5 or Cat 5e. Cat 5e is good for 300 feet. And I should have kept that. But I'm not going to say no to the guy. He needed it. And I do have another one. All right, moving on. What do we got here? Okay, slideshow. Let's transition over there. And I got 10 items in the news today. See if we can do that in about 10 minutes. The nice folks over at Raspberry Pi are always coming up with their own branded accessories. Okay, they made the Raspberry Pi hub and the Raspberry Pi hat for M2 drives and the Raspberry Pi AI Edge hat and. Well, this week they announced the Raspberry Pi flash drive. Why is that so cool? There are flash drives, for reasons that I'm not clear on, excuse me, that don't work in Raspis. So they got a couple of them out there. High capacity USB 3, $30 for the 128 gig, 55 for the 256. That's a little more than the usual low name devices, but that's pretty cool. Usual exacting standards, and it's fast and it's nice. I like this. This is a feature you find in more expensive flash drives. Automatically, autonomously, they like, enters low power USB 3 state when it's idle. And it's got some other cool features. All right. Good enough on that. Slideshow. Advance to next slide. Okay, this is personal. So I mentioned to you guys a couple of weeks ago that I upgraded my Comcast speed, my Xfinity speed. And I did, which means I got to pay more, but I didn't get around until a few days ago, a week ago, something like that, in changing out the router. And then one day, a few days back, Saturday maybe, something like that, with we had power, we had internet, and except suddenly we had no internet. Now we have two internet feeds in the house. One for my wife's at-home job. Because of privacy concerns, she can't use the home network for that. It's a HIPAA thing. And then there's the other one that feeds the rest of our residential household stuff. And it suddenly didn't work. And I started troubleshooting, and then it kind of dawned on me, oh, wait a minute, they did this upgrade on me. They probably killed my old router. So I went through a day, this is probably last weekend now that I think about it, of swapping out and getting it up and operational, and there was challenges because it spits out different private IP addresses. My old Comcast router spit out 192.168. The new one spits out 10 dots, and that wasn't compatible. And okay, we figured that out. We got it up and operational. The world's a happy place. And then I did a speed test. I bought gigabit, and it laughed at me and showed me 500. I said, well, I'll give it a few days and see what happens. And after a few days, 500, 500, 500. So I called India. And I spent about 40 minutes with India. Oh, when we are showing that you are getting 118% of your new speed. You're showing me that I'm getting 1,118 megabits per second. Well, no, a little less than that, but 118% of the real world throughput. I said, well, is that 500? Oh, no. I said, well, I'm running on speedtest.net. Oh, use ours. It is highly tweaked and gives you better numbers. So, okay, fine. I'll follow the rule book. I tried theirs and said, hey, look at that. It's up from 500 to 522. So we spent 45 minutes all on their side. Let me retweak this. Let me reprovision. Let me do this. Now reboot your router. And finally, after about 45 minutes, I got it up to not 464, but 771, which is an effective real-world download speed for gigabit if you don't have fiber. We don't with copper to the node. And 100 to 120 up. So you can see that didn't change much from when I was getting 460 down, but I don't need super high speed. But what a pain. You just gotta hate Comcast. Sorry. They will feed you a line. You're getting 500. Trust me, you are getting 118% of the gigabit you have contracted for. Not. All right, next. There is always a new eBay alternative coming online. And they come online and you don't hear about them for a long time until they start to get a little traction. So I ran into this one in the last week or two. It's Vinted, Vinted.com, the latest eBay alternative with their benefits and their advantages that make it better than eBay or whatever. Vinted.com, you check it out. I like this one. For buyers, you get a 2-day refund policy. 2 days? I get stuff in from eBay sometimes that sits in the foyer for weeks before I get around to it, so that doesn't make me happy. And you can get insurance on anything you buy for 5% of your purchase price plus 70 cents. They don't have a lot of stuff on there yet. People are just migrating there. They're just starting to get the word out. But I thought it was interesting. Okay, here's the cool latest thing by Raspberry Pi. You know, they've got these compute modules. It's not a Raspberry Pi. It's all the stuff on a Raspberry Pi on a circuit board except video and a couple of other things. Video is available, but it's designed to be embedded in equipment, right? Your CNC lathe, your medical device, whatever. It's for developers. And they use a stock HDMI interface in there. Well, that has not been satisfactory for some manufacturers. And so they created the Raspberry Pi Smart Display Module. And what you're looking at is the Smart Display Module. It's basically a hat that works with the compute module. It's bigger, better, stronger, smarter, faster than the HDMI interface that's native on the compute modules on the Raspberry Pis. And the cool thing about it is it's totally conformal to the Intel SDM specification, Smart Display Module. Now, what is that spec? Yeah, I'll give you in a second, but basically it's designed for scalable digital signage application. It's got HDMI output, high definition, super high definition. It's got an M2 expansion slot for AI acceleration. And when you get down to what's the spec, well, okay, there's some technical specs, and it's kind of a video card. This thing is basically a video card, but it doesn't have usual PC interfaces. It has interfaces that are designed to go with Raspberry Pi. And it's due out tomorrow, somewhere in the next 4 days. We're on slide 5 of 10. NASA is completing their wet dress rehearsal. Patricia, I can't believe you didn't respond to my wet dress joke on Discord. It was brilliant. But so be it. Anyways, they fueled it. They actually put real fuel in it. And kind of did the countdown as if they were going to launch, minus the crew. And whenever they do these kind of wet dress rehearsals, they find problems. And they fix them. So they found problems. And they fix them as they find them, or they put it on the chart. And, okay, once we complete the dress rehearsal, then we'll go knock that one out. So hopefully, as early as February 11th, and with many backup launch windows lined up, we're going to send Crew 12, a crew of 4 people, around the moon. They went into quarantine today for 2 weeks. This is funny. And it's not going to seem like it, but bear with me here. Google has just added AI image generation to the Chrome browser. It's a side panel option for their virtual assistant. powered by Gemini 3. It's got new features rolling out, making AI image generation and editing. They've built in their editing tool, the Nano Banana. If you are logged in as a Google user on your PC, your traditional stand-up PC for the moment, when you bring up Google, you will have access to these tools. And have fun with that. I'll show you why that's funny in just a second. So we've got James Webb, the space-based telescope out there. He's always coming up with something new and interesting. Early last year, we talked about the latest discovery of the oldest then discovered galaxy. Oh, here we go this week. They got an even older one. It's 280 million years after Big Bang. 13.5 billion years ago, this galaxy developed, they're saying, and they say that Big Bang was 13.8 years ago. So, and they say that they're getting 100 times more discoveries of older galaxies than they ever expected from Webb. So I thought that was kind of cool. Let's stick with AI. Sora AI, right? Altman's project. Excuse me. It's pretty much the top dog in commercial image and video generation right now. Consumer, not commercial. And this is OpenAI's project. And stand by, this is critical. Hey, Billy, I'm on the air. I'll be done on the hour. I'll give you a call then. Okay. Anyway, what's the big project that everybody's doing with Sora or Sora 2 or Sora AI? Trek stuff. Trek movies, Trek images, and they're too good. They're not. The Trek franchise operators are unhappy with how good this is, and they're doing all kinds of things with it. Yeah. All right. Why was Google AI so funny in Google? Because Firefox just added a kill switch in their nightly releases, Firefox 148, to kill AI in the browser. There are people who say this is disturbing. It's doing things that I'm not asking it to do. I don't want it as part of my browser. So Firefox is going the opposite way. They've got AI in there, but if you want to turn it off, you can. And that's what the menu where you go to turn it off. Locking means you won't see new or current AI enhancements. No pop-ups about them. Also points users to a page where they can learn about what's included and how to control traditional machine learning features. And the last of the news. Okay. This is just kind of a news roundup. So I'm just going to give you headlines here of a handful of quickie things and maybe something noteworthy. VirtualBox, every time there's a new Linux kernel, there's a new VirtualBox. Current release of VirtualBox 7.2.6, just released with support for the latest Linux kernel 6.19. GStreamer, that's a multimedia framework. New version of that came out, 128. I love this one. Tiger VNC 1.16 just released with support for sharing Wayland desktops. Most of the VNCs out there are very unhappy with Wayland compositors, the thing that generates screens and video on a lot of Linux boxes. And so you have to install the other compositor, XFCE, or one of the other ones. So now Tiger has native Wayland support. That is exciting. XFCE, not to be outdone, is releasing a new Wayland compositor that's Rust-based. OpenSSL, now available, more security patches and bug fixes, and new gparted. Right, gparted is the open source partition manager. Heck of a tool, amazing tool. I've been using gparted for, 15 years, more than that. If you want to do disk and partition management, it is the tool. Get this ready, and we get ready. Whoa, what are you doing? I hate this. Windows is just Windows. OBS is horrible when it comes to dealing with browser windows. But I'm getting there. Hang on a second. Click that, select this. Change you. Wow. Did you go away? No. Do I have to go to the page first and make it happy? Sorry, guys. There we go. Let's go to the slides. Oh, yeah. The battery in my Jeep is dying. I had to jump it the other day. I opened up the hood. There's no battery under the hood. Fortunately, there's a couple of jumper terminals. And I've got one of those jumper batteries. Hooked it up to the jumper terminals and fired it up. And then I said, well, it's time to replace this battery. I better go online and learn where the battery is. It's under the front passenger seat. And it takes about 45 minutes to change out. And they weigh 55 pounds. And you got to turn them on their side and torque them out. And it's been too cold. But now I've got warm weather. It's going to be in the 70s this week. I am working my brains out this week. So I'm not going to get to it. But I will do it this weekend. Just thought that was an interesting thing. Oh, I did a slide on that. I'm not going to bring it up. All right, we're on project. Let's go see what you guys have been talking about before we move along. Nice HDMI. Okay, nothing new. We're ready for action. I knew you would do that. But I now know how to get out of this. Click, 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 rotate. Transition. Now let's see what happens. So, I want to talk a little bit about Raspberry Pis right now. And I think, like I said, I didn't do enough pre-prep, but I ran into something when I started doing some prep last night and this morning. I have a file that has potential projects for ADRAMADA. I was reading through them. Nah, not this one. This is too much trouble. And I found an article from 2022, so almost 4 years ago, about developing projects on simulators for Raspberry Pis, online or with downloadable utilities. And I thought, wouldn't that be interesting to take a look at this article and then take a look at the sims that it did and see what's happened to those tools over the last 3.5 years. So there's 4 of them, and I'm just going to speed through them right quick. This is from an article at makeuseof.com. It was called The 4 Best Simulators for Raspberry Pi. Hey, you can kind of see that from the thing. And I'm just going to take you through each page here. I hope. Let's see how this goes. Okay. This one I think is interesting. This is a Raspberry Pi simulator for simulating IoT devices, or using a Raspberry Pi to simulate an IoT device and feed the IoT to and the data from Microsoft Azure. They actually have a section that's designed specifically for Raspberries, and they have a library of sensors that you can use. So there's temperature sensors, and there's humidity sensors, and there's glass breaking sound sensors and things like that. So it's really interesting. And of course, you got to expect that Microsoft has added functionality in 3.5 years, and they certainly have. One of the things, however, that they haven't changed is it ain't free. If you want to play in this arena, you need to purchase a Microsoft Azure developer plan, and they start at $29 a month. But if you're into that, so it's not something Joe Schmo hacker, Joe Schmo hobbyist is going to probably work on. But if you're a commercial developer for things like this, that's a drop in the bucket. So I thought that was kind of cool. I like this. If for no other reason, I love the name on this. This is Wokwe. And it says, if you look at the title of this page, the world's most advanced ESP32, that's basically Arduino simulator. However, they've got simulators for the Raspberry Pi Pico. So, Wokwe, a simulation platform created by Yuri Shaked, or Shaked if you want to pronounce it the way it's spelled, allows you to simulate IoT projects. More than IoT, but that's a big focus. And they've got a huge focus on the Raspberry Pi Pico, not the traditional Raspis. So they can simulate that Raspberry 2350 chip. They simulate Arduinos, ESP30s, Raspberry Pi Picos. It's completely free. So if you want to make projects for the Pico, it doesn't have to be IoT project. It's a great way to go. This is Wokwe.com. And if you go to Wokwe.com, it's kind of a pain to find it. So you add Wokwe.com/pi-pico. And that'll take you to this page. It'll show you pre-created projects. It also gives you templates to work with, so you can develop from there. Remember, when you're developing, it's not just hardware. You've got to develop software for it, code. So there's MicroPython, and they give you some software developer kit examples and programmable I/O examples, projects that they've done, projects that others have done and submitted. Now, if we add a line in here, let me see if I can get this right. If not, I'll copy paste new. Wokwe.com/new/PiPico. Nah, I gotta copy paste it. Oh, it needs the word projects in there. Sorry, I'm just gonna copy paste. It'll be easier. All right. So this is the most recent project that somebody has started up. And we've got other links here. We've got JSONs. We've got the library manager. No libraries installed with this thing yet. But cool tool. And it's free. Needs a little bit of background. It's not designed for if you've never touched electronics or a Pi Pico or something like that. What did I want to do here? Oh, yeah. Let's go back to Wokwe, to the main page of Wokwe. and I want to show you pricing. So they got 4 tiers of pricing. Open source projects, if you want to make something and make it available to the world, they won't charge anything. Personal projects, $7 a month, and you get the idea. So it can be free depending on what you're planning on doing with the project. Let's see. Oh, peripherals. Man, they got a huge library of peripherals. LEDs and buzzers, OLED screens, LCD screens, motion sensors, pots, keyboards, all kinds of goodies. It's a web application only at this point. And that's that. All right, let's go take a look at this one. I have no idea how to pronounce this. I played with it a little bit. But I still don't have. So this might be called Wyliodrin Studio. WYLIODRIN.studio. And I'm not real clear on how usable this still is. And I'll show you why in just a second. You can download the app. You can see here at the top of the screen, left side, Download Studio. And they've got a couple of different versions. There's one for Mac, and there's one for Ubuntu, one for generic Linux, and one for Windows, 64-bit. And then over on the right-hand side, there is a browser-based version. Let me show you what happens when you click on that. We get a bad gateway, so I'm not sure that exists. You might need the download, but I did download the app and play with that. And it's good for coding. It's an IDE. It's dashboard based. It's notebook based. It's got schematics. It's got a shell if you want to work from the command line. It's totally open source. It's free. Let's see. Works on all the major operating systems. Free download. Available as a Chrome browser extension, it says. That's the old article, so I'm not clear here. Originally, when that article was written, it was written for Raspberry Pi 1 and Raspberry Pi 0. I believe that it supports more now. Also supports Arduinos, Beagle Blown Black, and the Udo Neo. Anything else worthwhile in there? It's got cool features. You can program wirelessly. You don't need a wired connection to your device. That's kind of cool. It's got visual programming, drag and drop. You drag blocks, kind of like, I can't think of the name of the code that used to ship with Raspberry. But cool stuff. All right, the last one. This is Lab Center's Visual Designer. Hey, another visual one. This is the most powerful, the most flexible of the simulators that we're looking at today here. The Proteus Design Suite includes a visual designer, lets you simulate Arduinos, Raspis, gives you a flowchart editor and a peripheral gallery. Lots of breakout boards, build your own embedded products. Cool. However, pricing starts at $248. It's a one-time payment. It's not monthly. So again, if you're really deep hobbyist and you want to write in Python, you want all kinds of breakout boards themselves, buzzers, cameras, LEDs, TFTs, GPIO expanders, piezos, all kinds of goodies. Great simulator. All right, that kind of worked. We're figuring it out. And where are we at on time here? Hey, 10 minutes to go. That completes El Show. We get to finish a little bit early today, which never happens, right? Let's go back over here because we're going to need that. Oh, lots of things happened up here. So let's see what's going on. Oh, Jason turned up. What's up? Jason, I posted a specific thing for you on the Discord server about a week ago And I don't know if you saw it because you didn't comment, and I thought you would. It was a somebody that did a report of an experience they had doing desktop support. And I thought, this is so up your alley. And I don't recall the details of it right now, but we can find it on there. Staying warm. You got that snow now, huh? Bless your heart. The Carolinas get snow. That's so wrong. You're very welcome, Patricia. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wind it up with 10 minutes left in the show. Anybody got anything they want to talk about, ask about? I don't think I've seen it, but you look. Okay. Now you're going to make me look. I can do that. What is going on here? Let's go to that. And I probably put that on the IT channel. It shouldn't be too awful old. I could search for it. IP computing, networking. Oh man, I didn't make a slide for the thing I said it was going to talk about. All right, I'll add it for next week. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's in the IT, and it's dated January 26th. It's from X. It says help desk feed. I'm not going to read it to you on here, but it was cool. Okay, is hot soon to be available? The answer to that is yes. It's going to be at least a week. My next 2 weeks are suicidally busy. Tomorrow, I'm going up to Tyler, Texas, about 3.5 hours away, to do 2 gigs in a day. Then, in theory, I get Wednesday off, but I have to use Wednesday to go prep for an insane gig the following week. Thursday, I got a Houston gig. Friday, so far off. And then next week, a gig early in the week, and then a 2-day gig in Austin that's humongous. It's a town hall meeting. And it's really weird. It's going to take 10, 12 hours to set up on Wednesday. And then we're going to start it at, I don't know, 7:30 in the morning on Thursday. I got to be there at 6:30. And it'll be done in less than 2 hours, and then we strike set. I'm out of there by noon, get back here, and then I get a breather for a couple of days. So here is the problem with the hot site. Yeah, oh, it's not just me. It's a huge setup. Again, this is town hall. It's video live streaming, audio live streaming, 3 cameras, 7 microphones, PA systems, local PA, streaming PA, and lots and lots and lots and lots of other goodies. So it's a big, big job. It's we got a team of at least 8 people in their different specialties. So I'm doing the audio side of thing. Me and my business partner out of Lubbock. That was him calling. Okay. So what's going on with Hot? Here's what's going on with Hot. I set up the web server using Angie. We did a show on Angie. It's a drop-in replacement for Nginx. Well, I learned a lot about Angie. It's not quite a drop-in replacement. It's a functional drop-in replacement, but they do different folders and different defaults. And so when I set up Angie, it went fine. It runs HTML just fine. And then I threw in, not Python, another language, another back-end language. Everybody knows I'm just brain farting. And it didn't work. Oh, and then I installed the back-end language, and then I had some code for it. And it didn't work. And I started digging and digging and digging, and I started fixing things as if it were Nginx, and that didn't do anything. And then I went online and discovered, oh, wait a minute, Angie does it in different folders, and I've just left my tutorials up and haven't touched it for 3 weeks. And I don't think I will. So as soon as I get in it, if anybody's into Angie, why did that just change? What are you doing? Transition. So as soon as I get not Python, yeah, starts with S. Anyways, then I'll be cooking on that. So, but it's probably going to be 2 weeks before I get time to touch it. And I apologize. But if anybody's interested, if you want to play around with Angie and get the standard interactive languages going, I'll take your help. All right. Well, okay, that takes us up then. Let's wind this guy up. Okay. Am I showing? I'm going to, hang on, I'm going to refresh my page here because that's weird. Audio should be working. You should connect encoder to start previewing. Here we go. Okay. Things are happening. We're okay. You were probably seeing it. I wasn't. Well, guys, sorry we missed each other last week. No reason to see that we should miss each other next week. We'll do another show on Monday. And so far, my Mondays are looking good. Maybe picking a Monday was a good thing. So how do we prep to close this thing up? We do it like this. I wish you, as ever and always, a great rest of the week. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. And if at all possible, call or visit your parents. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. And with that, I bid you good night. I'll see you on ADRAMADA next Monday, the other platforms that we're all on. Until then, remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. Eat or op. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.